In a fierce competition for a staggering $5 million prize, Sam was one of 2,000 daring souls who battled it out in the Beast Games.
I'm going to dive into the raw intensity, behind-the-scenes secrets, and reveal what it was really like to compete for one of the most grueling challenges ever televised.
Stay tuned till the end because Sam is also going to shed light on the major controversy that's been buzzing around the internet about the Beast Games.
You don't want to miss what really went down. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Sam.
And I'm Melissa. Normally on this channel, we talk about what it was like for Sam to grow up with 4 moms and in a family with 35 kids. But today we are switching it all up because Sam got to be on the Beast Games.
And we can finally talk about it. So we are so excited to share with you what it was like behind the scenes, I guess secrets or just unknowns, and share with you what it was like for me to be on this. The most intense, I can't even begin to describe how crazy it was, but I'll try my best as we go through this and the challenges, at least for the first portion of Beast Games.
Yes, we wanted to cover, especially in Las Vegas, the first portion that is actually on Mr. Beast's channel on YouTube. You can go check it out, talking about taking 2,000 contestants and turning it into 1,000, because really, a lot of people didn't know that that was even a thing, or they only heard about the controversy that happened in Las Vegas and lawsuits and all sorts of drama like that. But most people had just heard about the Beast Games, how there was 1,000 people fighting for $5 million.
Yeah. And honestly, I thought it was going to be 1,000 people starting out. But then we get there here in Vegas at the Allegiant Stadium, and they say, oh, actually, it's starting out with 2,000 people, and good luck. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is insane. And the amount of people, I felt right at home. Since I come from a polygamous family, having so many people around me without any elbow room, you know, I felt right at home.
Oh, yeah, it was a wild ride. And also, we wanted to give a little bit of insight of what it was like for me, for family members, like just the process of what it was like having a family member on the show, how much communication I got, all that good stuff. But we thought that this first episode on it, we will definitely leave your comments and questions in the comment section, because we want to answer more questions in the future as the Beast Games continues to go on throughout the show. But we wanted to really do a review of Mr. Beast's YouTube video first and talk a lot today about what it was like in Las Vegas.
Yes, and I'm not going to give any secrets away right now as far as how far in the show I made it and all of those things. That will come very soon. And like Melissa said, in future videos, we will talk about some of the other things that will be shown on Prime Video. And those first 2 episodes are available as well right now.
Yes. So we thought the best way to be able to show you guys is we are just going to react to the video itself, go through. I hopefully will be able to ask all the questions like within 2 seconds. I was starting to write down questions. I'm like, babe, tell me about this, tell me about that. Because when he came home after all these days of no communication, because they do not have cell phones.
No, I came home half dead and just like plopped on my bed.
And he's trying to tell me all the things that happened, but he's fitting in and trying to remember days and days and days of events and things. And so this was so exciting for me to finally see it and be like, oh my gosh, this is what you were trying to explain to me. Or I thought when you said you could see how much money, I thought it was like this, but it looked like that. So this has been super fun and we are super excited and we just want to show you.
And I wanted to show you all this, my jersey.
Woo!
I finally got it back. So proof right here
that you were on Beast Games number
it's 243.
A real thing.
Yeah, 243. Let's go.
Yes. So let's hop into the video. And I know I'm going to be taking a lot of breaks and pausing and asking Sam a million questions that I'm sure are the same ones that you guys are thinking. So let's get going.
I am sitting on $5 million in cash and competing for it. Open the gates!
Okay, sorry,
so
already.
Much money.
Was that real money? Or does he use fake money?
No. At first, we were told it was real money, but then it was revealed later that it was not real money. And
okay, but it was the equivalent, though, right?
It was the equivalent,
like?
and they looked real. When I first walked in, oh my gosh, it just showed that pile of money. I'm not going to lie. When I first walked into the stadium, I mean, let's be real. The hype and the lead up to even walk onto the stadium floor or field was already insane.
Yeah,
Like,
because they were at like an undisclosed, it was very secretive at the beginning. He didn't even get the address of where he was supposed to go until that day.
yeah, and I was a little unique though because was living in Las Vegas, and the first challenge meet up in a hotel in Las Vegas, and then you're going to be bused to the location, and so I was a little bit behind on getting information because I was. What did they call me?
A standby.
A standby. I wasn't sure if I'd made it on until the day of, and they called me and said, "Hey, you're on." And so I was just like hustling over to the hotel. I didn't actually run; I drove, but hustling to the hotel. And then there was this long process of getting the clothes. When we were bussed over, we had to put like garbage bags over our jersey so no one could see that we were Beast Games. I mean,
I saw pictures of that online.
I feel like that drew more attention than if we had been wearing the actual regular Beast Games thing, because it got so much attention seeing everyone in these garbage bags. But I was fine. I mean, it was a lot of weight. That's what I would have to say, and is that it was a lot of time between, the bus ride. Then you sit for a long time and you get some food, and then you wait for a long time, and then you move a couple feet, and then you wait for a long time. My point being is that it took a while to even get to the field. But then when I finally walked onto the field with all of these strangers, 2,000 strangers that I had never met before, already kind of making friends with some, and already wondering, this whole thing's a big challenge, right?
Yeah.
So I'm expecting it to be hard. I'm expecting it to be difficult. So I'm thinking already about, okay, is there a hidden message somewhere? And I'm trying to talk to everyone around me and create friends and alliances, if you want to call them that. And so it was just quite the crazy experience right from the beginning. I was shaking a little bit from the excitement as I walked onto this field and saw this pile of money and just comprehending how much money $5 million is. And there were guards standing by the money at all times, which made me believe that it was real money. And they even said it was real money. But then when the time came, which we'll get into this later, to walk out of the stadium, some people were like stashing the money and stuff. And Mr. Beast said, "Guys, don't embarrass yourselves." And I'm thinking, okay, now, I mean, it's clear now that it's not the actual real money that some people thought it was.
Yeah, I can't imagine like just seeing a huge pile of cash that way would have, oh my gosh, yeah.
It was crazy, crazy, crazy. And then Melissa here, during this, even from the very beginning, I show up at the hotel and they say, "Give me everything, like phone, wallet, everything goes into your bag and it is taken over here and you'll get it back." Okay, I trust you, I think.
Yeah.
And I just turned it all up. And then that was that. You didn't
That
hear
was
from
that.
me.
No, and they'd said that ahead of time. And when he went, because he was on standby, they said it was most likely that he would get on, but there was still a chance. And so I knew if he didn't call me by I think it was by 5 p.m. that night, I knew that meant he made it onto the game. So it was really weird where we work at home together. We're pretty much joined at the hips, best friends together 24/7. And I was like, I wanted to hear from him so badly, but I didn't want to hear from him because if I heard from him, it meant he wasn't on the games. Right. And that's how it was every single day. Like I was checking tabloids. I was trying to find anything online, any kind of information, because there was zero contact with him. And every single day I was just waiting, knowing, okay, I don't want to hear from him because that means he went on and moved on another day. Because if I hear from him, then he's eliminated. Yeah. So it was crazy.
It was tough for me and very strange to not be able to, because we have 2 kids, and so not being able to reach out and talk to my wife and say hey to the kids and good night or something was very strange. Because even when I'm on some kind of business trip or something, there's always that communication. I will say though, from the very beginning, I realized how nice it was to be around so many people where no one had the distraction of having a phone in their face the whole time. And I think most people that I was hanging out with felt the same way, that, wow, that was really cool to not have, something texting or playing on your phone, and being able to just make good friendships and talk with people about, who knows, whatever, it doesn't matter. There was a lot of wait time, and so we made some really strong bonds, if you want to call them trauma bonds, from waiting so much and sitting on a floor. And then the challenges, when those did happen, we'll see these and we'll talk more about them, but that was very, very intense.
Oh my word. Okay, so you get into the stadium, you're seeing 5 million. Here we go.
Are these 2,000 contestants What you are witnessing is just the start.
Oh, the feeling I feel just by seeing this.
About to battle in a series of trials for a spot in my 10-episode Prime Video series called Beast Games.
Okay, what
So
was
much
the
money.
energy like? And what was it like to know that, like, as you're talking to people, 50% of you, like 1 out of every 2 people has to go home by the end of this?
Right. It was a lot of energy, surprising amount of energy, considering how many people had a very long day, but we were just going crazy. So much energy. And also, I mean, everyone was slightly nervous and scared. We all just tried to hide it the best we could, but we knew that it was going to be just bam, bam, bam. People were going to be eliminated very, very quickly to get it into half, from 2,000 to 1,000 in one portion of the show. We knew it was going to be quick.
Dang.
And,
What was
and,
it? Oh, go ahead.
and we saw this first challenge. You could see everything set up, and then there were these big curtains, which you'll see drop here in just a moment. So we knew something really big was about to happen, but we had no idea what. Of course, everyone was guessing. We were all guessing, talking to friends and things. What do you think the first thing is going to be? Trying to come up with a strategy. One thing that we found out very quickly from the very beginning: don't even try to strategize.
Don't even try to guess what Mr. Beast is up to.
Everybody was so sure that they knew exactly what the challenge was going to be, and they had this great strategy with their friends. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to team up and move on. And then it was always different. So that was something we learned pretty quick.
What was it like actually seeing Mr. Beast and his team in person?
It was very surreal because we love Mr. Beast. You know,
our kids love Mr. Beast.
Lila, our daughter, is like his #1 fan. That's one of the main reasons I went on this to begin with, was for her. And so being there in real life and seeing them, the people that I've seen on our TV so much, was crazy. And it was just cool because they were very friendly, nice people. Meeting Mr. Beast, he came right up and said, "Hey, what's up?" Like, it just seems like a very down-to-earth kind of person, which is no surprise. That's how he comes across on his videos too. So him and all of his team were just super chill, walking around, talking to us, hanging out, giving us the time of day. So it was really cool.
That's awesome.
First game is Drop the Curtains. The first challenge of these trials is going to test your strength.
Okay, when you saw that, did you guys realize that it was going to be a tug of war, like pulling it up when you saw it? Or what were your first thoughts that it was going to be?
So I assumed that the first challenge was going to be some type of tug of war, but I didn't realize it was going to be teams. Yeah, I thought it would be 2 teams pulling against each other.
Okay, not like lifting weights.
Right. So when I saw this, I mean, look how big those are. Just seeing them in real life was just so crazy. We were just like, wow, that's so cool. And then, of course, we were told to get into teams, which you'll see here in a minute, and that was just chaos.
My arms hurt looking at that.
I need all of you to split up into 5 groups of 400. Whichever group is the last to lift that 10,000-pound boulder across that finish line is eliminated.
Okay, so what was the process? How do you split into, these are all strangers, how do you split into groups of 400?
It was completely random. People were, I mean, if you had made some friends, you stick with your friends. I had a few, so I went to the certain color. I chose green.
Okay.
And so the few people I had made good friends with, we went to green, and then we just hoped that strong people joined our group.
Was everyone just kind of sizing each other up?
So I will say there were a lot of people that were trying to, in fact, there were some people on our team that swapped to another team because they looked over and saw that, oh, that team probably has some stronger people, so I'm going to go over there. So there were people abandoning ship left and right.
Wow.
People yelling and screaming about, come over here, go over there. And everyone it was chaos because there wasn't any strategy to it really, other than just pick a team.
Was there a timer? Like, this is the amount of time you have to pick a team?
There actually wasn't a timer. It was just the simple fact that there was a certain amount of each color of these little jersey things that we would put on, and that would say, okay, you represent this team because you have that color.
So once they gave you one, you were locked in.
You were locked in, unless you could always trade with someone else.
Oh, goodness.
So there was trading going on, but I rushed to the front of the line, so when they started handing these out, I grabbed my green, threw it on, everyone around me. But then there were people running up from the other side of the stadium trying to get the color they wanted, and the colors were just running out. So some people were forced to just take a different color because that's all that was left.
Oh, my word.
And there was, I'm not going to give it away yet, but there was one specific color that people didn't want, and so they were trying to trade, and they just ended up being stuck with it, and then you'll see what happens. Oh. 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, green team. Here we have green team. Did you guys come up with a strategy?
I think you may even see me back there in the distance. I wasn't too far from the front, but I wasn't all the way at the front. They're showing them the front right here. Our strategy, the funny thing about this too is everyone was shouting strategies.
Okay.
To the point where I just sat down and kind of laughed because everyone was trying to be the boss.
The
leader and shouting strategies. Hey, it got them screen time though, so that's something. But we had the strategy of, okay, 1, 2, pull. 1, 2, pull. Try to do it in a team manner, right? That was the game plan. We underestimated the hype and the adrenaline that we felt. The moment he said go, we all just grabbed the rope and ran backwards as fast as we could. There was no teamwork. There were people stepping on toes. There were people jumping away from the rope so that they didn't get run over. So and every single team did the same thing. It was just chaos.
Oh yeah, there are lots of people out to the
Stepping
side.
away because there wasn't room. Yeah, look at us go there.
Last holder to touch the top is eliminated.
Oh, you
we
got
did
second.
it. We were second place.
We have to go backwards. We have to go backwards.
And just like that, red is gone.
So this first one, because you guys hadn't slept up to this point though, right? Like this first challenge, was this the first night?
Yep.
Okay. What time did you guys finally do this challenge? Because that was one thing that shocked me when he got home was the lengths between these challenges. I kept assuming, oh, it's 9 o'clock at night. He's probably, he's made it through another day. He's made it through another challenge. He's probably sleeping right now. But what time do you think this first challenge actually happened?
It was in the middle of the night. The amount of time waiting, guys, it's impossible to even begin to fathom how much time, because they're setting up these big things, and every time we do one, they have to tear everything down and set up a new challenge. And so it was just a lot of time waiting in between. But that's one of the reasons that we got so close and bonded so much with so many people, because we were all in it together and there wasn't something to be distracted with. It was just hang out and wait for the call to go get some food, and then come back and wait. So it was a lot of time, but yeah, I think most of the challenges happened in the middle of the night.
Crazy.
As these trials were heating up, and some people chose to go home early.
It really is my time to step out. 24 hours. I did it. I did a day.
Okay, so this really happened. Like when I saw this on here, that people just decided to just walk away. What did they say their reasoning? Like why were they walking away?
Okay, so going into this, I knew that it was going to be a difficult challenge to win $5 million. So I went into it already kind of preparing myself. This is going to be brutal. He's probably not going to let us eat very much food, which, by the way, we mostly ate quinoa, boiled eggs, or oatmeal. Which I was happy with. Okay, I never had enough food. I felt like I was like always wanting more.
Because they're just like single portions.
Yeah,
like
just take one and enjoy it. And then there were people that couldn't eat certain foods, and so 2,000 people is a lot. And I don't think that the team that was hired to take care of us really anticipated how difficult it was going to be. And so there were people that were going hungry and having a really hard time. There were certain hygiene items that people were not getting when they needed them. So I know a lot of people had a difficult time with that, and that was challenging. For me personally and the close group that had surrounded me, we went into it knowing it was going to be hard. And so the idea of being hungry and tired all the time was just in our minds a part of the competition. And then people like him that just left, we just hoped, well, if it's this difficult, hopefully people will just walk out. And I think that's why some people did just leave.
Because it was just harder than what they expected.
It was hard. Just being there alone. The challenges aside, just being there alone was really, really difficult. Yeah.
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 Oh,
Congratulations on passing the first challenge. Don't you just love your teams? Yellow team, don't you love each other? Green, orange, pink. Unfortunately for challenge 2, your teammates will be your opponents.
This was crazy.
Bring out the briefcases.
Man, they sure set that up quick for the video.
Come on over. In front of you is a sea of briefcases. Some say eliminated, some say safe.
On the Jumbotron, we are going to quickly show which briefcases are safe and which are eliminated. Reveal the map.
Okay, 2 questions. 1, how long did it really take them to set up those briefcases? Because that is so many.
It was hours and hours and hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And it was...
Was this also on the first night?
Here's the thing. Even it was like this very exciting moment when they started bringing the briefcases out. Because we did the first challenge, we pulled the boulders. Between the boulder challenge and then just simply seeing them walking out with the briefcases was a very long time. So we were like, yay, something's happening on the field. And then, of course, it took forever to get the briefcases set up. Obviously, I mean, if you think about it, there's just a lot that has to go into each one of these challenges.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised, and I'm not even complaining so much. It's just I think a lot of people underestimated how much time it was going to be between each of these. And
this is all still on the first night.
And yes.
Like you haven't slept yet. You're middle of the night, do the boulders.
Honestly, I can't even really keep track of what time anything was because we didn't have a watch or a phone. So I don't know if it was the next morning when we finally did this or when it was, but we hadn't gotten a good night's sleep between challenges or anything like that. People were laying down and just sleeping whenever they could to get a rest. I was afraid to go to sleep at all between, or at least in the beginning, because I was afraid that some kind of challenge would happen in the middle of the night. I've seen enough Mr. Beast videos to know that you never know what's about to happen. So I was, sleeping with one eye open, afraid that something would happen. But yeah, so I think it was the beginning of the next day when this challenge was finally on way.
And when they put it up on the board, how long did you have to memorize?
I think it was like about a minute that we had to just memorize it. And my strategy was simply just to try to memorize which rows had because I knew that everyone was going to be running for it.
Okay.
Everyone was going to be running for it as fast as they could. And so I tried to get like my first option. If I missed that one, my second option is this, and my third option is that.
Okay, gotcha.
So I just looked at the rows and said, okay, I know that it's this far in is my first option. If not that, then I'm going to go to the next 2 behind and get that one. And then from there, somewhere else. But when I started running, I don't think it shows this, but when I started running, my shoe came off. I hadn't really tied my shoe very well, so I tripped up in the beginning, and let's just say I ended up with a 4th option that I didn't even know I was planning on getting.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see it.
3, 2, 1, go!
People were pushing and shoving. It was nuts.
Yeah, like the tables are like falling over.
Oh, yeah. People got seriously injured during this.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's $5 million. People went crazy.
Now that everyone has a case, it is time to find out what your fate is.
How long did you have to wait from the moment that you got your case and were standing there until you could open it to see if you were safe?
Here's the thing. There were a lot of people that put their hand on a case, and I'm surprised they didn't show this, but they both put their hand on the case at the same time, it seemed, and both claimed that they had it, and they both kept standing there. So they had to review the footage for, of course, another hour or so to review the footage and make sure. And then Mr. Beast would come with his tablet and say, all right, guys, we're watching it back slow motion, frame by frame. And look, your hand touched it just a second or a half of a second before this guy. So you're safe. You're eliminated. So they reviewed everything very intensely to make sure that it was fair.
So is that why some people look kind of bored as they're like sitting there like next to their case like, okay, here we are, like ready to open it any day now? It's because you guys were waiting for hours?
Oh, yeah. We waited for a very long time before. And of course here, they have to cut it all down. I mean, it makes sense. But here it looks like you touch, boom, you reveal. Wow, you're safe or you're not. Honestly, I wasn't sure if I was safe for a while. Because as I ran down and my shoe came off and I had to grab it, it came off halfway and I kind of kicked it on as I kept moving, a few very kind people said, this one's safe, this one's safe. And honestly, I trusted them. I had made some good friends and I just assumed, okay, you know what? I hope you're right. And I just took that one, but I wasn't sure if it was a safe one because I didn't get my first, second, and third option that I was going for.
And then you just had to wait while other cases were being reviewed.
Yeah, and I just was crossing my fingers. I sure hope mine is safe.
Oh, my word.
3, 2, 1, reveal!
Congratulations to the 350 of you that see green, but to the 50 of you that see red, you have been eliminated.
With 50 players now eliminated from the pink team, we reshuffled the brief.
Let me guess, more hours.
More hours, yep. In fact, I was green team, remember, so I haven't even gone yet at this point. And we actually went and had dinner between teams going, and ate dinner and then moved our way back down. There was all of this stuff that was in between as they were setting up for the next challenge.
Dang.
Yellow, you guys nervous back there?
Team,
Make sure you
babe.
pay attention. It's very important.
Look at all of them. They're all studying it as hard as they can.
Go!
And yes, I was safe. I got lucky.
While another 50 players were eliminated from the green team, I had something diabolical in store for this final round. Yellow team, remember when I told you to pay attention? Yellow, make sure you pay attention. It's very important. You guys are gonna use the same pattern green used.
But we're only going to show the map for a couple seconds.
Do you think that was always part of the plan, or do you think they realized how long it was taking in between and they just didn't want it to take any longer?
No, I think it was always part of the plan because in the big scheme of things, that minute of time to sit there and memorize was so minuscule compared to how long everything else was taking. I don't think you would have tried to cut it back.
No, I meant from them having to shake up and change the briefcases.
Oh, that's
I wonder
true.
if after doing it the first 2 times, right? Because they had to change it in between the other 3.
That is
I wonder
possible.
if Mr. Beast was like,
Yeah.
this is taking hours. We're in the middle of the night. Instead, let's cut it down and make it more dramatic.
It's hard to say exactly if it was planned or not because he played it off as though it had been planned, but it's very possible that he was just seeing how long it was taking and decided that right there on the fly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible. Also, the stage that Mr. Beast is standing on, like that platform, is way taller in person.
Yeah.
It looks like, I remember him walking up as we were standing there and he was like way up there. It looked really, really crazy. So I just wanted to point it out. In the video, it doesn't seem quite as tall.
For those of you that got green, you are all moving on to the next challenge.
I've got a question. How does it feel to be winners?
Long day. I didn't get to sleep. We're sleeping here by the money. We're trying to manage.
Sleeping on the floor. That was crazy. That was so crazy. We just got our sleeping bags. They rolled them in and said, come get a sleeping bag and a toothbrush and good night, And so we just went and picked a spot on the stadium floor. And
You got to tell them about the stadium floor.
yeah, so I don't even know exactly why, and maybe this is common and I just didn't know it. But the floor, so when they roll the grass off, because this wasn't grass, they didn't have grass rolled out on it. So at this stadium, the Allegiant Stadium, they can just roll the grass out, I guess, when they want to bring it out for watering and getting some sun. At least that's the rumor I hear. But when we were there, the floor was made of olive pits, like crushed up olive pits.
Yeah, because they asked you if you were allergic, right?
Right. And these olive pits were everywhere. Like they would get
You brought them home with them.
In your shoes, in your pants,
bag.
like in your sleeping. They would kind of get everywhere. And I didn't know that that's how they did stadium or fields. I didn't know that. Maybe it's just a thing here. I don't know. But it was not the most comfortable thing in the world. But honestly, we were so tired. I think we all passed out pretty quick.
Sleep well, everyone. You're going to need your strength for this next challenge.
Congratulations to all 1,400 of you for making it this far.
Now, you would think, okay, this is the next morning, right? You got some sleep the next morning. Here we go, next challenge. No. It was like the next end of the day, right? Probably in the middle of the night of the next night, right?
Oh, my word.
This is all set up now.
So it's like 24 hours almost.
Yeah,
later.
it was a long time because it was. I mean, you'll see. There's only a handful of challenges that we did, and we were gone and in the stadium for, was it 4 days?
3 or 4. You left home Thursday morning and you came home Sunday morning.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of time for the amount of challenges we did.
We have 2 more challenges in this audition for my new Prime Video show, Beast Games. The rules for Challenge 3 are simple.
We are placing flags across the playing field in front of you. You will need to capture a flag in order to move on.
There's 1,400 of you and 1,100 flags.
This means 300 of you will be eliminated. So we'll be setting out a different number of flags each round until all 1,100 have been captured. But once you cross the red line, you have to capture a flag or you are eliminated.
You get a flag or you go home.
What was your strategy when you heard this first setup? Did you have a plan like I'm going to go third, fourth? Did they tell you how many rounds there were going to be to begin with?
No, they just said we're going to put out a certain number of flags.
Okay.
Until all of them are out there, 1,100 of them.
So it wasn't like there's going to be 10 rounds and you're picking
Nope.
a number. It's
Nope.
just we're going to keep going until we say we're done.
Exactly. And my strategy was not go on the first round because I want to see how it plays out. I want to see how many extra people are going to be lining up to try to get a flag. And I don't think they pointed this out, that if your toe so much as touch that red line, you had to run on that round or you were eliminated. So there was never the option of like stepping out and deciding, nah, there's too many people running, I'm going to step back and wait for the next time.
It's all or nothing.
If you touched that line, you had to go, period. Yeah. So my strategy was to just kind of wait and see how it played out in the first or two rounds. I went, I believe, in round 5 or something because I realized that not enough people were going and there was going to be too many people waiting till the very end.
As soon as I blow this horn, the round will begin.
Oh, they're running. No, he's going. He's going. Oh.
So everyone was thinking the same thing you were, or they wanted to hold back, huh?
Yeah. Most everyone waited.
Oh, we got a collision. Yeah. Let's go number 10. Let's go number 10, baby.
10 flags were captured and 2 people were eliminated.
Thank you for coming out.
And for the 10 of you that captured a flag,
Congratulations.
you've secured a spot in our final game.
Only 12 people went for this.
People are way smarter than I thought. I thought hundreds of people were going to go. We started off a little tame. Now let's get crazy. For the second round, we're going to bring out 50 flags. A lot of people are about to be eliminated. You're all going this time?
Yes.
You're calling out your flag?
Yes. I got 47. Do not go to 49. We got 24. I've been calling 24.
Okay, so was that a big part of the strategy? People just saying, this is what I'm going for?
Yes, and the hope was that if I announce it, no one else will go for it. But of course, you have someone else that stands up and says, actually, I think I can outrun that person, so I'm going to go for it. This is my chance.
Okay.
Thankfully, I look athletic in the sense that I'm 6'4", and people probably just assumed that I can run fast.
He does run like a gazelle.
So when I stepped up, I said, I'm going for 243, the flag there with the number 243. I'm going for that. And I actually saw a few people step away from the line because they were thinking, well, I'm not going to run then for that. So I got lucky. No one else ran for my flag. When I ran like it was like my life depended on it, but at the end I looked back and realized no one had even attempted to get my flag.
So were there ever any that would make it a huge disadvantage if you didn't look athletic, or if you were like a small woman or an older person? Did that make it hard for them?
So that's where there were a lot of nice people that stepped up and said, you know what, we're going to protect. And I did this for a couple people as well. We're going to protect these people here and make sure that no one else runs and ensure they can get a flag, especially for some of the older people, because they wouldn't have any chance if they can't run very fast, right?
Yeah.
And you'll see here a little bit one of these happen.
One of the reasons people were waiting it out was because they were working together.
The group wants me to put it right here.
Okay. Taking turns letting each other grab a flag.
It doesn't make sense. Like, why are people being so nice? It's $5 million.
Eventually, you're going to have to betray each other. Someone has to go home. Someone has.
And I just want to point out, I was reading a lot of tabloids and trying to find any bit of information. I saw a lot of people being like, all of these are rigged for super athletic, tall guys. What was your opinion on that? Because obviously, like you said, in this case, they're letting a grandma do it. She could be on a team with other strong people for the first one. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on people trying to say that it was rigged for only athletic men?
Absolutely not. And I say that because a lot of them were challenges in a group.
Okay.
So a lot of these people, if they want to consider themselves less athletic or something, they could easily have been on one of the teams, that made it happen. And I saw that a lot. In fact, there were plenty of them on each of my teams that I played in, where there were maybe some elderly people or some people that there were even people that had like an injured leg or something, and they just couldn't run very fast, or they couldn't pull a rope very quickly. So there was always a plenty of good people around making sure that they had a shot at it, like we just saw here. But in the end, I mean, yes, it's a big challenge, and we knew that there would be a lot of physical. There's most challenges that you go in and compete in will have some physicality to it. So that's what I expected to see anyway. So anyway, yes and no, I guess you can say.
Yeah, they had opportunities to like team up with other people. Not all of them were as individual as this.
And not every, as you see throughout the show on Amazon Prime and even the remainder of this video, not every challenge is about strength.
And in this crucial point in this competition, I made the worst mistake I possibly could have. I handed the mic to my friend Carl.
Good old Carl.
Yo! What's I Vermont? What'd I do?
Everyone thought you said go, Carl.
I said yo!
Bro, that was like 50 people just got out.
I said yo!
Throughout this whole challenge, it's been very clear that blowing the horn starts each round.
Were people trying to fight that, being like, we should get another chance? Or did everyone just kind of understand the rule that, like, if they stepped down?
I was there for it, but I had already gotten my flag, and I was on the other side of the stadium, so I don't know. I assume there were a couple people trying to fight it.
How long did that drama last before they could actually start the round?
It was pretty long. There was always people that were trying to fight. In fact, there was someone that went and hid on the side with us that had already had a flag, trying to hide out so that he could stay, even though he didn't get a flag and was eliminated. So they had to find him and get him out. It was a whole thing. Yeah,
the fact that he doesn't think people would snitch on him because they want people to be eliminated so you can make it further. So it's not like they were gonna, like, did he really think that people were gonna protect him from that?
I have no idea. Honestly, there was so much emotion going on at this point, and in this round specifically, this challenge was one of the most mentally. I mean, I just remember I could barely even sit still. I was so nervous about this one. Yeah. And my friends around me, we were all just thinking, okay, we all got to get through. We have to get it. So we were cheering each other on and screaming and hoping that everyone would make it through that we were friends with. But I'm not even surprised that people were trying to hide and people were complaining about the rules and things, because it was just a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, and this one ended up being a huge one because the number flag you got ended up being your number.
That's how I got this number. I got flag number 243, and that remained we didn't know this at the time, but we had to memorize and keep that number because it was going to be our number throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, crazy.
Always the air horn. Why would they leave on yo?
I love Carl.
Oh my God! Run!
The feeling when you actually get a flag was the best feeling ever.
Congratulations to the 1,100 of you who are moving on to our final challenge, the most cutthroat challenge yet.
Can I just say, since we live in Las Vegas, knowing as soon as I heard, and I had no idea that he was going to be at Allegiant Stadium because when he left, he got the address for a hotel.
Yep.
I had no idea where he was going. As soon as I heard some like leaked stuff online that he was at Allegiant Stadium, knowing that he was so close to me and yet so far away and I had zero communication, I had no idea what was going on. Every time I like looked down to the strip, I was like, I can't believe that he's in that stadium.
I know.
Like, it's so crazy.
And every
I
time
have no idea what you're going through.
I know. It's crazy. And we've been to the stadium for a concert since that. And every time I see the stadium, even from the outside, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I slept on that floor.
Yeah.
And the feelings and the emotion. There were some people I know that said they were never going to that stadium ever again in their life because they felt that they were a prisoner in it. And I mean, keep in mind, anyone could have walked out at any time. No one was prevented from leaving if there was an emergency or they really wanted to leave, just to be clear. So if anyone says that they were trapped, for real, they weren't. But I guess we were trapped because we wanted the $5 million.
Trapped by money.
The only thing that was trapping us. Yeah.
Man, but it was wild having you so close and yet so like being cut off from you so much. So weird.
All right. The 1,000 of you that pass this final challenge will move on to compete in our 10-episode
Prime Video Series.
Every single episode in that show is bigger than the biggest YouTube video I have ever done. Let's
Is that accurate? Were all the challenges after this even more intense?
Yes. Well, the ones
you were a part
I don't
of.
want to give too much away, but the ones I was a part of, yes, they just got more and more intense. And you can see the first 2 episodes right now on Amazon Prime. But yeah, man. But right now in this moment, realizing that all I have to do is get past one more, and then I can call my wife and say I'm moving on, was just like, come on. And the emotions were running so high. I mean, everyone was hugging each other and just like, just one more challenge. And then we would have made it through the first 1,000 people being eliminated.
Yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
Scale of this show is unbelievable. We built an entire city. We're giving away a private island, and we've got the biggest prizes in entertainment history. But standing between you and my Beast Games TV show is one final challenge.
I need all of you to split up into groups of 100. This challenge has nothing to do with strength or speed. It is all about trust.
At this point, did you feel like you even knew 100 people, or was it still kind of going in blind of like, kind of like in the first round where you're picking 400 people, you have no idea who they are? Oh, I see your face. Oh my gosh, I paused at a good moment.
I'm there. You can see me
There
right
you are.
there.
We will circle it on the video. Oh my gosh.
That was a good place. And you can see me like, oh no.
What?
Yes. Okay. So to answer your question, yes and no. I had a lot of people that I knew of,
Okay.
but I didn't have 100 people that I could trust fully to know these people are solid and they're not
that's a
going
lot of
to
people.
stab me in the back, right? I think I probably at that point had about 10 or max 15 people that I felt that way about.
Yeah.
But 100? No, not
Yeah.
even close. I was just crossing my fingers. Come on, do right by me, and that's about it. But even then, even the 15 people that I said I knew and trusted, you never know what Jimmy is going to do. He's so crazy. The amount of money that he brings out in a bribe and things, you never know what someone is actually feeling. And I learned that the hard way later on in the show.
Oh, you guys, you just wait.
There's nothing that can make me turn my back on my team.
It's time for challenge number 4.
When you first got on the platform, what did you think it was going to be?
When we first got on, we knew kind of well, we knew that it was going to be something about staying on, whoever stays on. But I thought, and my close friends thought, that it was going to be whoever can last the longest.
Okay.
Just staying on there before someone gives up and falls off or gets off because they can't take it anymore. So we thought it was going to
Like
be
an endurance.
an endurance challenge that could last for who knows how many days even.
Okay, and what's the black box in the middle? Was that a bathroom?
That's a restroom.
Okay,
Yep.
good now.
Yep. So it's a restroom, and then of course he tells us the rules later on that it's not about endurance. It's about, well, kind of, but it's more about who can resist the bribe.
Oof.
They're not going to be cheering much longer. Starting now, if you step off your platform, you will be eliminated, and so will your entire platform.
Oh, the stress in this moment.
I guess I'll go get a bunch of money. I'll be right back.
Typical Mr. Beast.
We saw
Honestly,
that
I
coming.
don't normally get nervous before filming, but this one is freaking me out. One person's about to receive a lot of money, and 99 other people are gonna be very sad. This is gonna be heart-wrenching. I brought 3 separate bribes out here. Reveal what the first bribe will be. It will be $5,000.
That ain't no Tesla, bro.
If that doesn't work, I'll give you 50 grand. And if somehow all 1,100 of you decline the 5 grand and the 50 grand, reveal the third offer.
Oh my God.
$1 million.
Okay, this is the point where nobody, all the other ones are like, boo, boo. There wasn't a single boo when that $1 million was unveiled.
And there were, in that moment, you could see it on their faces, hundreds of people that were thinking, I'm going for that $1 million.
What was your thought personally? Because we had talked about a number.
Yes.
Beforehand.
My number, which was in my head, was if it's a bribe of $250,000 or more, and I know for a fact that I can take it, then I would take it. Because that would be life-changing money. Granted, even $50,000 would be life-changing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that.
But when you're going for $5 million, this was something Sam and I talked about before, because Mr. Beast is known for his bribes, right? We knew that there's going to be opportunities for bribes. So we talked about it beforehand. Like, if you're competing for $5 million, you don't want to leave for $5,000.
Exactly.
Or if everybody that loses is leaving with two grand anyway, that $3,000, you know, for most people isn't going to make a huge change in their lives.
I mean, it'll be fantastic for us for something.
Yeah.
For a little
but
while.
But that's not life changing. So you have to figure out what that number is.
If you're thinking of, hey, long term, life changing, completing goals, allowing us to live the life of our dreams, you know, that kind of thing. 250,000 is what we came up with kind of together. And I kind of stuck with that. And so when we saw this $1 million that it was going to be a bribe, don't get me wrong. My first thought was never, you know, I have created all of these close bonds. I would never step off. But my second thought was, if I knew that I could get it, then I would take it. But the trick here was whoever jumps off of their platform first and hits the ground first gets it. So if 20 people jump off, only one person is getting the money, and then everyone else knows they cannot trust you for future bribes, right? And so it was a very, very tricky thing we had to kind of navigate.
Yeah.
When that timer starts, the $5,000 bribe will be in play. Start the timer.
I think we got this. I'm just hoping that someone else on a different team is willing to lead.
Honestly, even to get 1,100 people to not go for 5,000, because obviously compared to 5 million, I get it, but still 5,000. If anyone was just sick of the competition at this point and thought this is too hard, that would have been a chance to do it, right?
Or a college student that 5,000 could literally change their lives, right?
Yeah, or pay for an entire semester or a year,
$5,000!
I love that everyone was not about it.
No. On our platform, we were solid.
Seems like no one has any interest. You can go ahead and reset the timer. Put it back to 10 minutes. They don't want it.
Not when you see 50,000 right next to it.
Next to $1 million. All in front of the 5 million.
Exactly.
As we got ready for the next bribe of $50,000, the entire stadium started to change. People on every single platform were inching closer to the edge, getting ready to jump.
Now, things are gonna get very interesting. When that timer starts, whoever touches the ground first will now receive $50,000.
But I did not expect for this offer to be so irresistible that someone would actually jump before the timer even started.
We were shocked.
Well, no, it hasn't started yet.
She was so nervous about not being the first one.
She's not gonna get it because the timer hadn't started, but she stepped off.
So she stepped off. Well, and then but the timer, like, he didn't say go yet.
So she broke the rules, really.
So she just eliminated them all for no reason.
She eliminated everyone because she jumped off. But and honestly, we were all so shocked. Some of us, we were on the platform right next to them. And so we saw her jump off, but we were still trying to process what had just happened because we were all looking up at the timer waiting for it to start.
Yeah.
But she was, like I said earlier, so nervous about not being the first one to hit the ground that she even went before. Just the nerves got to her and eliminated her whole platform and didn't get the money.
Oh, no. I didn't start the timer yet. Oh, my gosh. No, because the timer hadn't started yet.
Oh my God! 99 people just lost out on $5 million.
All because she jumped.
I'm sorry, but she stepped off.
They were so mad.
In disbelief that they had just been betrayed, and they were absolutely devastated that they would not be moving on to Beast Games.
All right, platform 6. You guys are eliminated. I'm sorry, she stepped off. You guys can head to the exit. I'm sorry.
That final game was brutal.
But it's nothing compared to what these 1,000 remaining
I was just gonna say, but then how long was it after before you guys like it solidified in your mind the fact that that meant that you got to keep going?
Oh, it was immediate. The second we saw her off the platform, we went wild. We were I'm surprised the platform didn't break. We were jumping. People were flipping water in the air with their water bottles. You know, people were screaming. It's hard to capture what was going on the side when they're focusing on the one specific thing that's happening right there. And that's something that as I watch this back, you know, they're cramming so much time and so much video and recording in such a short video that it's hard to capture how people got to the point where they made the decision they made because of all of the conversations that they were having with other people. And, you know, and we really got to know each other and their families and their desires and their dreams and things like that. So when someone made a decision, for us players, it kind of made more sense, but it's hard to capture all of that in a short video.
Yeah.
Contestants are about to face. They have now earned their spot in the biggest competition series of all time. And one of them will walk away with $5 million in cash. But before they do, they will have to compete in Beast Games.
Dang, babe. Well, now you all know Sam did make it into top 1,000.
Yes.
Obviously, number 243. We are not going to reveal how far he made it, but I can tell you that we are going to do more videos as episodes come out. And again, please leave in the comment section questions that you want answered about what it was like on Beast Games, whether it's what it was like for Sam, what it was like for a specific competition, what it was like at home, like whatever questions you have, please leave them in the comments.
Thank you all so much for being here with us again, and we look forward to talking with you soon.
Talk to y'all soon.